Welcome to Your Cochrane Right Now, a weekly podcast all about the best and snowiest town in the world, Cochrane, Alberta. My name's Eric Ruddle, joined by Lauren Meister. And Lauren, we're kind of in like a Spring-mageddon kind of situation.
Yeah, just the day that spring sprung here in Cochrane, that's when we got hit by a snowfall warning, and they were saying up to 30 centimeters of snow. I don't think we have 30 centimeters of snow just yet, but after this weekend, it might actually amount to that.
And it's really unfortunate that there was a massive mock emergency planned this weekend here in Cochrane, because they're dealing with snow as well, and to go along with the fake wildfire they're dealing with.
Exactly. So it's actually pretty cool. We first kind of learned a little bit about this back in December. We were talking to Fire Chief Sean Pauly a little bit about the fact that this was going to be happening. But we just found out a few more details just this past week. But 200 emergency personnel going to be coming to Cochrane, actually already in Cochrane right now. And they're going to be basically pretending that there's a wildfire that is threatening our community, and they're going to be doing all of the things that they would do if this wildfire was about to come into our town.
Yeah, going so far, they're even knocking on people's doors, because you do have to practice that interaction, being like, hey, if this was an emergency, this is where we would ask you to please leave. And it's taking over like the West Point, West Terrace part of Cochrane, the section along the river there. But it is incredible to see so many search and rescue people in the Cochrane area. And it's been really interesting to watch how it goes, because in my mind, this was going to be almost like a disaster movie. Everyone's feet on the ground. Honestly, it's a little more like a plan, like sitting in a boardroom, writing on paper.
I'm pretty sure they have these massive binders, and everything's kind of like, hey, we do this, we follow these guidelines. Everything's pre-planned out because they're prepared for these emergencies, which is pretty cool. And this is why they do this training, because if there is some kind of an emergency, they know exactly what to do. But it's going to be interesting to see all of these emergency vehicles and people from all over the province who are actually in our community this weekend. And it is kind of unfortunate that this didn't happen a week ago when it was like 15 degrees. I kind of feel bad for everybody who's going to be like traipsing through all of the mucky snow out there.
No, it's incredible to see, and it's going to hang out until this weekend. So we'll see how busy it truly gets here in town. And it's going to be super busy next week, because we are recording this on Friday, and we are 1 week away from voting beginning for Kraft Hockeyville. Of course, Cochrane revealed as one of the top 4 communities, and that means we are in line to win $250,000 to build up the old barn, the Cochrane Arena, which is turning 50. Oh, and a preseason NHL game coming to Cochrane, and a whole lot of bragging rights as well.
That's the thing. Just holding that Hockeyville title would be pretty cool as well. The last time it was won here in Alberta was 10 years ago in Sylvan Lake, and it's pretty cool. We actually had the chance to catch up with Mayor Jeff Janung and then Aaron from SLS Center the other day. And so here in Cochrane, we actually have this massive, massive trophy that Sylvan Lake had made 10 years ago, and Sylvan gave this to Cochrane. So it's over at SLS Center right now. But it's so huge you could actually climb on top of this. I don't know if you're actually supposed to or not, but that's how big this huge trophy is. So I think that's pretty cool. And I also think that, like, if we win, are we going to have our own version of a trophy? Like some kind of like a horse or a cowboy or something version of a trophy, or a cowboy like holding a trophy? Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, and do we have to give Sylvan theirs back if we win? Like, can it not just become ours and we'll pass it to the next Alberta community that gets in the running? But this is really incredible. And just watching the community rally behind a common goal, right? We are seeing all over town businesses plastered with posters saying, hey, next week, please vote. Here's the QR code, pre-register. And there's even a big rally going on where all the community can come together the day before voting begins.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. So that's going to be happening over at the Cochrane Arena. And the night before, so it's going to be Thursday evening. And then voting, of course, opens up on Friday. But looking forward to that. You and I are going to be there. And I think it's going to be like a great opportunity for everybody to get together and just kind of get hyped up right before we get our voting fingers all ready to go.
Yeah, and looking at other communities who have won, because voting is unlimited. It takes millions of votes to win. That's not even like, we need million. It actually takes millions. So everyone needs to vote and needs to vote for 32 hours.
Oh, yeah. Like, this is not like an election. You don't
No.
just go in and check a box. You don't just vote one time. Like, you need to, like, take the day off, cancel Easter dinner. Like, the Easter Bunny, like Mayor Jeff Janung said, the Easter Bunny can't come until you've voted nonstop for 32 hours.
Yeah, that's the rule. So that is all going down next week. Friday and Saturday is when you need to vote. But it's been a really exciting week here for kids. So one kid we talked to, Luke and his dad, were having his 11th birthday party, right? He has all his friends over, and Luke and his dad love hockey cards. So right now, if you haven't been keeping up, Connor Bedard is the next phenom. They're calling him the next Wayne Gretzky, and his rookie card just released. Now, this rookie card is very sought after. I believe you have a 1 in like 1,200 pack rarity of pulling it.
Exactly. And this happened on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, nice.
And they had the luck of the Irish on their side. And what's really cool about this story is they happened to be videoing this too. So Luke, the son, he was actually videoing his dad pulling the card. All the boys, there was like 7 or 8 boys, they were all watching. And sure enough, they open up the pack. They were kind of spreading it out. And there's a Connor Bedard Young Guns rookie card in there. And then everybody just goes crazy. So it's all captured live on this video.
Oh, Pokemon. There you go. There's some red there. There you go. Oh, yeah, there's some good. Young Guns.
And it's so cool because it's just like this raw emotion. These 10 and 11-year-old boys just going crazy. And at the beginning of the video, one of the boys even says, this is going to be the $1 million card, because there's one card that's worth $1 million. It's a gold Connor Bedard's rookie card. So they were just hoping it was going to be like the $1 million card. It's not worth $1 million. Luke's dad, Greg, he thinks that it's probably worth about $1,000 or so.
That's it.
Yeah, no big deal. But I mean, this is going to appreciate, right?
Yeah.
Over time. But it's kind of cool talking to him too, because this is a birthday party. He said all the boys were hanging out in the hot tub. They had all been eating snacks. They'd been eating Cheetos. You know when you eat Cheetos and your fingers are covered in like cheese,
Yeah,
right?
of
They're
course.
so messy.
And they're 10 and 11.
They're
so
10 and
it's
11.
like
So
on
these
their body.
boys were trying to like grab this card. So of course this card is like priceless,
Yeah.
right? So he's like, no. Like, you cannot touch this card right now. It can't have a wrinkle. It can't have Cheetos stuff on it, right? So he had to try to protect this card and get a protector for it really quickly.
Yeah, so they got it in the protector, and he says he's not going to sell it right away. He wants to sit on it. If the price astronomically jumps, he might look into it. And of course, his wife is saying sell it, but they're gonna sit on it.
Well,
for
there's
a
3
little bit.
kids in the family.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's got 2 girls and then his son. So he's like, what do I do? You know, how do
Needs
you
to pull
right?
2 more? Yeah.
Exactly. That's the only obvious choice.
That is really cool. And yeah, happened right here in Cochrane. And also another amazing Cochrane teen, a Daisy. So she is grade 12 at St. Tim's. Of course, they just wrapped up their diploma exams. She got her marks back for Math 30-1, and she got 100%.
Well, didn't you score 100 in math in high school?
So this
big
is a
deal, is
story
it?
I've never really told before, but I was doing, I think it was the diplomas, and I got into the room, the gym, and I sit down to do this test, and I didn't really look at it, and I was doing these math questions, and I was like, these are really hard. I don't know half this stuff. I should have studied more. I'm halfway done. I flick to the front. I was doing the wrong math test. And I go up to the teachers, and they're like, this has never happened before. I was like, okay. And
So
they're
you
like,
were doing like a more difficult
yes,
math?
yes, yeah. No, I'm in radio, so I wasn't.
You were in the easy math?
Yeah, I was in the easier math. I was doing the harder math. So back to a Daisy. She rocked it. So she's no stranger to math. She said, hey, it comes not easy to her, but she puts a lot of work in. Her mom's really into math.
Yeah.
And she also got 100% on all her grade 11 exams. But the coolest part is this is coming with some scholarship offers.
She's already got a couple of scholarship offers for different universities. So she hasn't quite finalized and figured out where she's going to go. She's waiting though for one particular, crossing her fingers for one university to come at her with a scholarship option. So that's kind of what she's hoping. But she wants to be an engineer.
Yeah.
That's kind of her goal.
Good on her.
I mean, obviously she's going to put her math skills to use, but man, oh man, that's pretty incredible.
And fingers crossed that she gets this scholarship she's dreaming of, because we do hear of a lot of athletes from Cochrane. We're a sports town, but very rarely do we get to hear about the academic ones. And yeah, it's tens of thousands of dollars she's going for. So
Yeah,
huge
pretty
shout
cool.
out to Daisy up there. And a huge shout out to the Bow Valley and Cochrane High kids who were down at the SLS Center earlier this week for the Cochrane Classic.
Yeah, so this was the 21st annual, I believe, and they do this every single year where basically they take the grade 12 students, the ones that play hockey, and they duke it out on the ice, and it's pretty cool. It fills the rink, so I know Totem 1 was filled once again, and it's all support of the Cochrane Activettes Food Bank. So they raised a bunch of money for the food bank,
Nice.
over $1,500, I believe, which is so cool, such a bonus. And Cochrane High just kind of snuck by Bow Valley by 1 point, but pretty cool to see that event.
Very cool. And we got to talk to a couple of the leadership ladies, and they were the ones who put this together. It is all student ran to see that amount of money. And it's kind of funny on our part because we have an intern here at the radio station right now. So we're like, go to this little hockey game, man. It's going to be fun. He came back like wide-eyed being like, it was crazy down there, guys. But it's so cool to see the 21st annual one, and just the success that continues with it. And the same day, there was a job fair, which also had so many people looking for the dream of working in Cochrane.
Yeah, pretty cool. They had over 400
Whoa.
people at this job fair. And, that just goes to show how many people who are looking for a job. And it wasn't just young people. There was a lot of young people, kind of their first jobs. They were looking for that. But there was also people who have been in the workforce for quite some time, looking to switch career paths, and a lot of newcomers as well.
Oh,
So a lot of
nice.
people who are new to Canada, new to the area, and are just kind of, looking for a new job here in the region. So that was pretty cool.
And let me tell you, as somebody who did work in Calgary for a better half of about 10 years with school in there, commuting every day, nothing is sweeter than working and living in Cochrane. Like the 6-minute commute you get, staying in town, supporting local businesses by going to lunch or doing your shopping here. There is nothing sweeter than it.
Oh, you don't need to tell me.
Oh, man. It is truly a benefit that a few people get because, of course, there is more opportunities in Calgary. But if you can ever snag it, just stay here.
Yeah.
Stay here forever. But that is everything going on in Cochrane right now. There's, of course, Hockeyville coming up next week. So there's going to be a lot of stuff going along with that as well. And we'll throw out all those details up on our Cochrane Now app. But until next week, I'll talk to you again soon.
Yeah.